concerning the Western world, which is promoting democracy, independence, peace, stability, free enterprise, capitalism. But that's fine from when you're inside their countries and feathering their own bed. But look what the U.S. and the English and the French tried to do and did do in the opium wars against China and the devastation that they caused for their own profits, for the tea trade, making opium use legal in China and not in their own countries. And then again, in the Vietnam War with the French, I know you're thinking of the U.S., but the French were there trying to do what the U.S. tried to do. And the drugs that were coming out of Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, why were the U.S. there? Why were the French there? Democracy. Again, look what the English tried to do to the American colonies with the taxation to get for their tea trade. Once again. And why did the U.S. go into Afghanistan when it's one of the leading opium-producing countries in the world? What are they doing there? What were they doing in the opium wars? What were they doing in the Vietnam War with the drugs? And you think the U.S. and the Western powers are interested in democracy, free representation, independent rule, sovereign rule of countries? And now the present, look what the Western powers again are doing against Hawaii and the Chinese. The Chinese coming on like gangbusters, becoming number one country in the world, economically, militarily, socially, politically, etc. They're on their way. And look at here they are again. The English, the French, the Germans, the U.S. trying to gang up against Hawaii and Chinese technology. Hawaii is clearly a leader in 5G technology and in the area that's evolving. It's the same old thing. And people in the West are thinking, gee, we're really for democracy here and free capitalism and enterprise and independence and competition and yeah, right, but look at what they're doing again. How many times does history have to repeat itself? Currently, 65 people were gassed with chemical weapons in Syria, and the U.S. cried human rights violations. But look what U.S. did in Vietnam, indiscriminately bombing civilian targets, constantly. And in the end, the U.S. says, oh, we lost 65,000 soldiers of our people there. Well, they killed 3 million Vietnamese. And where was a war tribunal for that? Plus the Chinese that were helping the North Vietnamese, or the Vietnamese, really, not just the North. You see, you see what's happened when Vietnam reunifies. Well, the West is trying to do the same thing with Korea. And when the U.S. gets out of the way in Korea, and Korea is allowed to reunify, according to both the South and the North parties, then it will be a good day for both the South and the North Koreans. But this is a point of view that isn't widely shared by the press or by the political leaders in the West. But there are other countries around the world that don't share the West's exuberance for this type of free enterprise and capitalism, etc., and democracy. You think democracy exists in the United States? Just show you the Congress can't do anything. What good is this form of democracy? I'm not saying democracy is bad. I'm just saying the form of democracy and the state and condition of the political system called democracy in the United States is just not functioning well. Take a look at the poor and the downtrodden, Social Security, etc., the lack of health benefits in the United States. Take a look at China. They point a finger at China saying non-humanitarian measures exist and everything, but take a look at what President Xi said. He said their anti-poverty alleviation program, which is lifted today, is March 17th, 2019, and he said they have lifted 780 million Chinese out of poverty in their anti-poverty alleviation program, and that they've got 20 more million to go. That's 780 million. They've got 20 million more to go by 2020. And sure, there are bugs and details and things and that have to be worked out on a area by area basis, because it's not a one plan serves the whole nation there. And President Xi said that he has never spent so much time on a government program as he had on the anti-poverty alleviation program. And so you want to call this guy inhumane, and you take a look. You think that any president in history has ever been able to say anything like that? That's 800 million people. Compare that to the population of the entire United States, and you see what a project that was. And yet the poverty, etc., in America has been allowed to persist because the leaders haven't done anything. It's the leaders haven't done anything, and the people and the citizens of the United States haven't cared. They've been interested in me first and their version of capitalism, and the Congress can't do anything and isn't interested in funding such a program, which the development of which would be very beneficial to the economy of the United States if they would get down and look at the bottom line. You want to invest in people, in businesses. Well, you're really investing in people, and there's a lot of people in this country, a lot of talent, a lot of things that have gone neglected, and the Western powers want to criticize China, and I just think that the Western powers ought to stop attacking the East and concentrate on humanitarian measures within their own countries and develop their own economies, their own creativity, taking care of their own citizens,